Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. We've got some breaking news tonight, an exclusive all-in scoop. It's this. Donald Trump is 78 years old. Did you know that? If elected, he will be the oldest person to ever be sworn in as president of the United States. He is a man that is suffering from, I think, pretty obvious mental decline. But in contrast to the breathless coverage of Joe Biden's age and fitness, which, again, made a certain amount of sense, prior to his dropping out of the presidential race, we are not seeing nearly as much discussion about Trump's diminished mental acuity. When was the last time you read an article wondering if Trump was mentally fit to be president of the United States? It is simply not leading the coverage of this race as it was with Biden 2 months ago. It seems like everyone's grading Trump on a curve. He has always been rambling and incoherent, true, so he gets a pass. But I got to say, if you spend any amount of time listening to him these days, and for our sins we do here at All In, he does not sound like a person who should be anywhere near the nuclear codes.
The transgender thing is incredible. Think of it. Your kid goes to school and comes home a few days later with an operation. The school decides what's going to happen with your child. And, you know, many of these childs 15 years later say, what the hell happened? Who did this to me?
The real radicals on that issue are the Democrats, where you can have an abortion in the 9th month, and in 6 states, you're allowed to kill the baby after the baby is born. The execution of a baby, because that's not abortion, that's the execution of a baby.
You could actually execute the baby after birth.
The wind, it kills our birds. If you want to see a bird cemetery, go under a windmill sometime. They do kill a hell of a lot of birds. Why do they love it? It kills all the birds.
Now, these are all obvious and transparent lies. I don't think any serious person believes any of that. Like, you drop your kid off at school at 8:30 in the morning and then pick them up at 2:30, and they've had gender-affirming surgery in the school that day in the nurse's office. No one is executing babies in 6 states or any states. It's not legal in democratic states to, the doctor just kills the child there, the newborn. There aren't piles of dead birds under all the windmills. Again, the guy just says stuff. But I guess what I would say about that, and he's been saying stuff for a long time, is more and more I generally can't tell if he believes it or not himself. Like, is there a line anymore between deception and delusion? And if you actually ask him to articulate just a basic policy proposal, say on childcare, for instance, he just cannot do it.
If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable? And if so, what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. You know, I was we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that, because look, childcare is childcare. There's something, you have to have it. In this country, you have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including childcare, that it's going to take care. We're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country. Because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about. We're going to be taking in trillions of dollars, and as much as child care is talked about as being expensive, it's relatively speaking not very expensive compared to the kind of numbers we'll be taking in. We're going to make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it because right now we're a failing nation. So we'll take care of it. Thank you.
The applaud at the end. After he's like falling all over, he does the Simone Biles dismount. MAGA. You get all that? Remember, the question was, what specific piece of legislation will you advance to keep child care costs down? Okay? Now, again, here's a contrast. Here's the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. She's the Democratic nominee. Here she is with her specific plan to help offset the cost of childcare.
Under my plan, more than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut, and we will do this by restoring 2 tax cuts designed to help middle-class and working Americans. The Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit. Through which millions of Americans with children got to keep more of their hard-earned income. So as president, I'll not only restore that tax cut, but expand it. We will provide $6,000 in tax relief to families during the first year of a child's life.
So there you have it. A little bit of a contrast. Now, you know, in Trump's defense, he was not on teleprompter. He was just riffing there. But I don't know, man. That's the quality of the brains right now that we got over there.